Congress. Mr. Mawutor Agbavitor, good morning.
Good morning to you, Sena.
I hope you're well.
Very well.
And everything is going on well.
We're grinding on. Everything is good.
Yeah.
Yes.
Nice to see you.
Thank you.
I don't recall the last time I met you.
Years ago. Years ago.
And I think we've only had about one conversation since you became Volta regional chairman on the phone.
Exactly so.
Yes. Okay. So before I come to the time you spent in office as Volta regional chairman, you did. Okay. There are a few things touching my mind. You are a businessman yourself.
Yes.
Do you agree with what Katie Amon is saying?
Not at all. The only thing they can regulate is the regulation on taxes at the port.
Okay.
Because most of the raw material needed for cement production, clinker, gypsum, are imported. And with the CD dollar fluctuation, it will be difficult for any businessman to peg his, importation at a certain value, and then bring in the raw materials produced, and you say you want to control price. How is that going to be possible? Even the utilities, it will be difficult to even control at that level. So I think that it's more of diversionary tactics. I want to think so, because it's not a well thought out plan.
Okay.
It's not, because if you think through it, the equipment you import is out of pocket by the businessman.
Okay.
Installation, payment of labor is out of pocket by the businessman. And you come to say that you want to regulate price. At what level? That is a very, difficult question for government to answer.
So in producing cement, virtually almost everything, maybe except for labor, that you use in that process,
it's imported.
Imported into this country?
Yes, we import clinker. We import. The only thing you can also get from here is the limestone.
Okay.
Yes, otherwise maybe you use granite.
Okay.
This time there is new technology where they want to use clay. But as of now, most of the major manufacturers of cement today, they use clinker, they use gypsum, and they use limestone. So the only local produce, or the only local,
the only thing you can find
here is the limestone.
Limestone.
And labor. That's it. Equipment imported. Everything else is imported.
So you say the place he needs to be looking at is taxes.
It's taxes. It's taxes at the ports. Those are the things government should be paying attention to. And then, like JM said rightly, that they need to give user tariff to manufacturers. For instance, if the 24-hour economy is implemented, or when it is implemented, those ones can help stabilize production costs.
Okay.
Beyond that, production cost is out of hands of the government.
Okay.
So it will be difficult for government to now come in and say that they want to regulate prices. At what level are they regulating the prices?
Okay. Is it the same for every other? Because when Nancy was speaking, I was telling Nancy that it is not only the cement that you're talking about. We are even producing steels.
Yes.
Steel, the iron rods that are used for building and everything. It's the same for everything else.
It's the same for everything else. It's the same for every Ghana. The only thing a government can regulate or seek to regulate is if we have maybe 80 to 90% raw material locally produced. And even that one, the raw material must be transported to the factory or the production unit. And it comes at a very variable cost. It comes at a very fluctuating cost. That can also be regulated.
Okay.
So what government has to do is to fix the CD dollar fluctuation and to look at the taxes. Those ones are within the reach of government. They can look at that critically. But to say that after I've produced, use my money and everything, and you want to tell me the price to sell, who does that?
And you say that you feel what he has said is diversionary.
It's diversionary, I think so. Because it's
attention from what?
From this, cost of cement. If you look at how much cement cost during the time of JDM and the cost of cement today, they need to do something to show to the world that, we are interested in trying to reduce prices, but the parliament, the law couldn't go through and the rest of them. Okay. That, I think that is the essence of what they are doing. Beyond, it's just political. Beyond that, the Minister for Trade sitting in his desk knows that it will be a very difficult task to regulate prices in an open market. He knows. If he doesn't know, then I don't see the reason why he sits there as the Minister for Trade. Seriously.
So there are serious questions to be asked of him for even proposing this.
Exactly so. When I heard it I was asking myself a few questions. What are you trying to regulate? What will you regulate? What will you regulate? I've imported my raw materials. I'm producing, paying my labor, paying electricity, and the rest of them. And then you are telling me I should sell at what price? To make losses or to make profit? So those are the things I believe that, it's just diversionary. It's political, mainly.
If you just join us, we have the Volta Regional Chairman of the NDC, Mawutor Agbavitor, in studio this morning. And I'm guessing because you are a chairman of a party seeking to be in government in the Volta region. In fact, if you look at where the country is now and your own attempts to make a living, because you're talking about a businessman. Most businessmen, sometimes the things they will usually not say, they say nowadays. Yeah. Complain about the difficulties with running a business.
Right.
And then people even struggling to earn a living.
Right.
Is this something that worries you, both from the perspective of a politician and also as a businessman?
Definitely it does, because I live in communities, I visit people. Let me tell you this, the cost of agbelikaklo, it was 3 pieces for 50 pesos at the time of JM. Agbelikaklo, today is 1 cedi with size reduced. Yeah. It gives me worries. You cannot live in this kind of environment and not get worried. Businesses cannot operate because they can't get access to credit. Cost of labor has gone high. So unemployment rate is on ascendancy. So what really, it's a border. This country needs to be reset. There is need for this country to be rescued seriously, beyond sounding political. Beyond sounding political, this country needs a reset. The path we are treading on is a very dangerous one. The path the MPP is taking us on is a very precarious, very dangerous one. And we must make sure that we avert that. We need to prevent that now. Otherwise, the future is so bleak for our children.
Unfortunately, if you want to, with the system we practice now, we have to wait for another 5 months to do that.
Yes, I wish elections are held tomorrow, seriously. But we have 5 months, so there is still hope. There is still glimmer of hope. There is light at the end of the tunnel.
Cement prices have gone up so fast.
It was 16 cedis during the days of JDM. It was 16 cedis. It's gone up to 23 cedis, if my memory serves me right. Today is about 109, 115 cedis. Who does that? How can we live like this? It's not, it's a very serious matter out there. A very, very serious matter out there. Even common food items, you can't afford them lately. The normal things you want to have on your table at dinner, you can't afford it. Cost of living has gone high. Meanwhile, incomes are either declining or they are static. It's a very precarious situation that we live in as Ghanaians. Yes.
And is it something, because when you said reset, and I've heard that being used by the National Democratic Congress, I've heard the running mate use it, I've even heard a flag bearer say it, reset the country. What would that involve? What do you think that should involve?
We need change in leadership, change in policy direction. And then we need to cut down on these sole sourcing procurement issues. We also need to, get rid of cabalism. The country is being run by a group of people. A country like Ghana is just being run by a group of people who are just interested in making money and destroying the future and aspiration of our children. That is all it is. And that calls for a change in government and change in direction. Until that is done, this country is treading on a very dangerous path.
Well, that was just by the way. In fact, the very first question I wanted to ask you was your assessment of the fundraising you did. Politics around the world, no matter where you are. Even in the US, there is hundreds of millions of dollars to run campaigns. So politics around the world is expensive.
Very.
You need money to run it.
Yes.
First of all, is it the first time the Volta region has done a fundraising of such?
Yeah, the magnitude, the level, this is the very first time. But there have been attempts at fundraising in the past. But this one was higher in terms of participation, in terms of arrangement and planning. And we believe that the use or the outcome of the fundraiser as well is higher than any fundraiser ever done in the past. So I can say proudly that this is the first of its kind.
And I was a little surprised when I heard the idea, because I know when this is headed by Mawutor Agbavitor, Mawutor Agbavitor is a businessman, knows that these are very difficult times. To be searching for money, now that's a very difficult task to do. But you decided to go with that approach. First of all, why that decision?
Yes, why we decided, we have initiated other forms of fundraising.
Okay.
We have initiated what we call the micro fundraising,
Okay.
which is by the dial of *248*52#.
Okay.
You know, that is our approach to micro fundraising.
Okay.
What it means is you meet people on the street who tells you, oh, can we contribute our 20 cedis to the party?
Okay.
But they don't want to come to the party office to donate 20 cedis or 5 cedis.
Okay.
So we give them that kind of opportunity. You can start, be in the comfort of your home or in the market. Or when you want to buy credit, then you remember that there is a political organization called NDC that needs your support in terms of resources. So you can always send money to us. We are going further micro. I mean, there is a strategy that we're going to go on the streets and appeal for support.
Okay.
Like you indicated, political activities these days, you need a lot of resources to run it. And we can't always rely on the national party or the office of the flag bearer mainly to support our activities. We can leave the big budgets for that, but the smaller running of the party, you need to mobilize resources yourself and make sure that little plans that you have done, that you have put together is being run effectively. And you need resources to do that.
So you said that you have micro level, so you are raising funds at the micro level.
Yes.
Through that.
Yes.
You said you even go on the street.
We're going on the street, yes.
The street of the Volta region.
The street of the Volta region to solicit for support.
From
ordinary people who are ready to see the back of this MPP, administration.
Aside that, then there's this type that you did, the main fundraising that you did.
Yes.
But how did it go for you?
It was very successful. I can say that proudly. Not ready to disclose figures here, but it was very successful. And mind you, we are doing a second part of that in the Volta region.
Oh, okay.
Yes, we are doing a second
Not only
phase.
for Accra, you are taking it to
we are
Volta.
taking it to Volta region probably in September. We plans are underway as we speak now for the second phase of the fundraising dinner to be held in the Volta region.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. But this one for you
was a success.
Was a success.
Was a big success.
Because I am sure you had a target in mind.
Yes, we didn't meet the target, but I think what we had, what we did was a successful fundraising dinner. Yes.
Exactly what do you need the money for?
We have to go on the ground to work. The constituencies have to work, and we can only support them and supervise the activities. The wings would have to work. That is the women's wing, the Zongo caucus, and the youth wing. They must be seen working. They must work. The task ahead of us, my brother, today in the Volta region, every single vote, you have to work to get it.
Okay.
Unlike in the past that we all blanket, Volta, everybody is an NDC. We still love the NDC. World Bank,
work for every
you
vote.
have to work for every single vote.
You are the National Democratic Congress.
We are the NDC, the World Bank of the NDC, but we have to work for every vote. We are not taking our voters this time for granted.
Okay.
People love the party. They genuinely want to vote for the party, but we have to make them feel important. That is why I said that every single vote, we have to work for it. And that is the project we have at hand. So it means that we have to make sure the branches work. The over 2,375 branches are effectively operational. Our constituencies are effective. They are working on the ground. And we must make sure the wings are working as well to make sure that everybody is raked in. What we have, like I said in the beginning, is a communal labor. We can't rely on the 500 or 600,000 votes to win the next election. Volta need to win the election for the NDC. And that is what we are focused on doing.
That's an interesting change in mindset, because for a lot of people, when you hear Volta is the NDC, say, oh, what do you need to do? The people vote for you anyway. Is there something that has changed in the Volta region that is influencing this, or it is the Mawutor Agbavitor leadership approach?
I think it's more to do with my approach. And secondly, in the last election, MPP got 100,000 and I think 100,041 votes.
Okay.
And I'm so uncomfortable with that kind of situation.
Okay.
I mean, not in Volta region. It shouldn't have happened in the first place. So how we need to reverse that. That is the first thing we'd have to do to reverse, the number of votes MPP is getting in the Volta region.
Okay.
So that has informed my decision that every vote we need to work for.
Okay.
And make sure that we have every vote for the NDC. It's mathematically impossible to have 0 for the MPP. Okay. But as much as possible, we need to work to reduce the impact the MPP is making in the Volta region and also to enhance our votes.
Have you found what is influencing this impact? Because in the last election, they actually even won a major constituency, very populous constituency when it comes to voters. Yeah. They got Hohwe. Yeah. Have you found out and understood why the MPP is becoming popular with some groups within the Volta region?
Yeah, dealing with the Hohwe situation, first of all, our presidential candidate, John Mahama, won Hohwe constituency. Okay. Amaru only won because they heaved off Sao. Okay. And that was, you all know the situation that, the attempt to make sure that people are prevented from voting. That was the reason the eve of the election, they said that certain communities, which were actually our stronghold, were not allowed to vote. That said, we are now in a new era. Our Amaru can testify to you that we would win Hohwe. I'm telling you, we are winning all the 18 constituencies in the vote.
Because if you're blaming your loss on Sandro Kofi Akwa-Fololo-Bilipe, they are no longer part of the Hohwe constituency.
They are no longer part, but like I indicated, JDM won Hohwe.
Okay.
JDM won Hohwe massively. So we've strategized. We are working very closely. Like I said, every vote we must work towards it, or must work for it. So it's one of the things that inform us as to the approach we are taking into the next election.
Yes. You're working very hard to win back Hohwe.
We are winning back Hohwe. And all the other 17, we are getting 18 over 18 in the next election. 18 over 18 in the next election.
Sit in the Volta region. In fact, and I always say that in the Volta region, what is left of the votes is what you manage, because majority of people from the Volta region are all over Ghana.
Yes.
If you go to, in fact, I've gone to northern region and I've met people who are speaking tongue to me. I was surprised. I was like, you are also here. So you see that a lot. In terms of rallying votes, do you consider those people, or you limit yourself to what you have in the Volta region?
You see, every Voltarian living everywhere, so to put it, believes that it's only NDC that can give them some protection, or that it can give them some development. That is the orientation, first and foremost. Okay. So my duty as a regional chairman is that to make sure that my children, in quotes, in other parts of the country are also taken care of. Okay. I know the groupings. I know where we are. We are working so closely. Fortunately, there is this group, Volta Diaspora Caucus. They've been working, even though they have their own issues. But I'm taking the bull by the horn myself as the chairman of the party to visit every Ewe community across the country. That is a project that we are going to embark on and make sure that we execute it through the party line, and it is going to be done so effectively. Because our people in Savannah, in Banda, in Bono is everywhere in the country. They feel threatened. They feel threatened when it gets to election. In any case, this even happens to us in the Volta region. The militarization, the politics of exclusion. Towards election, they will load, military people into the region. But I can say for a fact that this coming election, the population or the communities will reject and revoke such attempt if the government plans anything of that nature. We are ready for them at this time, because we know that anytime they hear the name of an Ewe person, this government, this MPP administration thinks that you are not a Ghanaian. Who does that? We are part of Ghana. Why would you profile us in our own region or in our own country? The people, old ladies coming from their bathroom are prevented from coming out to register or to vote in the name of, one lousy, whatever, secessionist grouping, and they dump soldiers and military into the region. That is not going to happen. It is not going to. We won't allow anything close to that. It will never happen. So this is, and I know that our people, even in Banda, you remember the videos are there, the clips are there, how they use the military to prevent our people from voting. In the last election, it took the national chairman now, then general secretary, together with a few people from the region to go to those areas to make sure that, calm remains and our people are allowed to vote. How would you treat us like that? We are not strangers in this country, for crying out loud. But I can say that we would resist it if they attempt anything of that nature in the next election.
So you're looking beyond the Volta region?
Well, I'm looking beyond the Volta region. Because if we're able to mobilize, see, the victory of NDC, like I said, depends on what we contribute.
Okay. Depends on
what the Volta and the Ewe community contributes. I'm not sounding tribalistic, but that is just the fact. That is just the fact. Because most of the seats that we win in many parts of the or other regions are votes that are generated mainly from settler communities, made up, of Ewes, largely. So we would have to make sure that they feel protected, would encourage them that, look, under NDC, there'll be more protection. Under NDC, there'll be more development. And they'll be happy to see their home doing well. So would encourage them to support and continue to vote for the NDC.
Is your agenda limited to, because now by the division of the region into T and, of course, the Volta region, majority of the Ewe community are in the Volta region.
Yes.
But when you go to OT, you still see that there's a great number of Ewes.
Yes.
Still in the OT region.
Yes. OT is Volta, now. They just drew a line across. But it's all good. It's all good. If it will help development, why not? So, and interestingly, I work very closely with the OT party. We discuss, we hold meetings, we're trying to do even more to enhance that cooperation so that when we deliver, they also deliver. So that is the agenda, that is the plan, that is the program we are doing. Yes.
Well, if you just join us, I'm in studio with the Volta Regional Chairman of the National Democratic Congress. How long have you been in office as chairman?
Over a year, slightly over a year now.
How are you finding the experience?
Very interesting. Very interesting. I mean, like in every situation, it's difficult to lead human beings. People of the Volta are no different, but as a leader, you need to be focused on the job or the mandate you are given. In most cases, I tell my colleagues, just shut your ears, focus on the agenda, focus on the job. The key thing is deliver for NDC. Let NDC win. That is the key, and that has been my driving force.
And how is the cooperation between you and not only the regional executives, but the people on the ground from the constituency to the branches? What is the working relationship?
Very cordial. I mean, when I took over as regional chairman, I made sure that even people who contested and lost, we need to bring them together. Because, I mean, seriously, for us to deliver, everybody's vote is needed. Everybody's contribution is needed. You are just elected to provide leadership or some form of direction. You are not a superhuman being. You are not Hercules or whatever, Superman. So you need the help of everybody. So it has been my policy that I would include everybody, and that has been it. I mean, even so we held a breakfast meeting with the people who lost the election together with us to make sure that we enhance. We have an open door policy allowing their suggestions and views. We put some of them on committees. Not all of them are on committees, working committees of the region. So we make sure that they are also doing what they have to do or the ideas they had before contesting and they didn't get the opportunity to lead. So that is the kind of thing we're doing. 3 days ago, I held meetings with the former appointees. Excuse me. That included the former chairman of the party that I contested with, and then and then beat him at the election. However, I mean, we just want to make sure that everybody is on board. NDC, we have to deliver this country. Sometimes you walk on the streets, and even MPP people tell you that they beg you, please remove our people from office.
Remove
MPP from office. You hear this from MPP people. They come to me as a regional chairman. I meet them. They tell me that, please, you guys need to get our people out of office. Because when you go to buy fuel, they don't see your card. When you go to the market to buy one tomato for 5 cedis, they don't ask you if you're MPP or NDC. So they also want a change. They also want a change to the decaying nature of things as they are going today. That is why I said that this country, like my flag bearer said, the running message, this country needs a reset. And everybody is looking up to us. And we can't afford to fail Ghanaians.
MPB members looking you as in the face as Volta regional chairman and telling you, my party needs to leave power.
They say that. And some of them, it's just, we are on air, but I'll tell you, I'll give you names. Some of them senior party MPP people, that if for nothing at all, we should remove MPP and prosecute them for the crime they are committing. That is why I say it's a cabalism they are practicing. It's just a group of people within the MPP. You think the MPP themselves, all of them are happy? You are a media person. You know that some of their own members are not happy with the way things are going.
But okay, like they've always admitted that nobody will be happy with what they have, and they still continue to insist that at least they appreciate the difficulties Ghanaians are going through. And is that not a good starting point?
Appreciation of difficulty you plunged in when you were taking reckless decisions. What came to your mind? We are not interested in somebody who appreciates the situation we find ourselves in. We are interested in somebody who would foresee a leader. You must visualize, you must think ahead. You must know that the decision I take today would have positive or negative impact in the future. So when they sat down and planned to recklessly rape this country, or excuse my language, rape this country, were they thinking of, oh, come on, we know that we are, come on. This is a group of people that, now the dollar cedi is 70, went to 17 or 19 at a point, and it was reduced to 13, and they were patting themselves at the back that, oh, we've achieved something. Who drove us there first? Who sent us there first? You did that, and now accepting of responsibility. We are not interested in that. That is why Ghanaians are calling for a leader like John Dramani Mahama to come back and then change things for us and makes life much better for the business community, for the farmers, for the teachers, for the nurses, for the unemployed, because there will be great opportunities for them, for the students, so that the future of this country will be more secured.
Pardon us, we'll go into these issues and come back again, because we're even talking about the Volta region and your own approach. And I realized from listening to you that you are adopting more of an all-inclusive approach.
Definitely.
But the thing about losing is that there are people who lose in political parties, pretend they have let go. But then subsequently, you find out that they go to the extent of working against the person who even beat them.
Yeah.
How are you ensuring that people are not keeping these things in their hearts and just waiting for the right time to revenge? And among others, are those all things you at least input into your strategy when you are thinking about all this all-inclusive approach?
Definitely. Human beings, it's difficult human beings are not machines. If you lose an election, it depends on individuals. I lost an election in 2014 to the current chairman of UTI. In a very thin margin. But I didn't take it too personal. You see, if you are contesting an election, you must be ready to lose or to win, unless you don't want to think in that direction.
Okay.
So if you lose, it means that the people are not ready for you. You can come back to contest. So don't harbor any ill feeling. All you need to do is to calm down and work with the team. In any case, you wanted to win an election to lead a political party. If they don't vote for you, come back to the party, work for the party. As to how anybody feels or harbors, that might be difficult to even, tell the mind of anybody. So I can only encourage people who lost election at any level, at the branches, at the parliamentary primaries, at the constituency election, at the regional election. They must come on board. They must come on board. Let us all work. At the end of the day, let's go for the win. Let's win for Ghana. That is the key thing, and that is what I keep saying all the time, that this is a project for Ghana. It's not a project for Agbavitor. If you tend to hate me, I think that you are hating the wrong person. You are targeting the wrong person. Let us all keep our focus on the goal, or keep our focus on the ball. That is what we should be doing.
What responses are you getting to this approach of trying to get everybody on board?
Definitely, it is not in the interest of everybody. However, as leader of the party in the region, I have to reflect that I accept everybody. I am open to suggestions. I'm not somebody who thinks that I know it all. In fact, I know nothing. I know nothing. So I rely on my team. I rely on people, outside. I keep saying that nobody goes to school to learn. I want to do MSc in party, being an NDC party chairman. You can only rely on a team to succeed. And part of the team are people who lost the election. Part of the team are people who are even not within your executives. So to succeed, you need everybody on board. And that is what I think it should reflect.
How is that learning curve going? To be a regional chairman of a party. And I'm wondering what background you even bring into that position. How is that going for you? What are you learning from the experiences of being regional chairman so far?
So much. Don't forget, I am a product of the CDR. I started this race very early. When I left sixth form at the age of 17, 18, and I was a full-time employee of the CDR then. So I understand some of these things. We were taught at that time, they take us through some lessons. So I have that at the back of my mind before I joined private sector to operate by myself. Okay. So I've been in the system and I understand the psychology of how some of these things work. You can't know it all. You can't have 100% handle on everything, So the lessons I've learned so far, work with people, listening to everybody. However, you must understand that people will definitely betray you. Even Jesus was betrayed. Who is Agbavitor?
So you definitely, from listening to you, you are not expecting everything to go to be rosy.
No, not at all. It can never be 100% perfect. There can never be any situation like that. There can never be any situation like that. But as a leader, you have to carry on with everybody. Go along with everyone. Take everybody's suggestions on board and work with it. That is what you should do.
Well, he's also regional chairman of the NDC, Mawutor Agbavitor. But before we continue, I want to ask, have you failed in any of the WASSCE subject, especially mathematics? Have you written the WASSCE a couple of times and continue to fail? Are you on vacation? Do you want to be part of the most intensive vacation class that will always put